Alright, it's kind of late, but I want to talk about something I call um, the therapist paradox, right? And it's this idea of why would a professional that's supposed to help you, if that means they no longer make money, right? So I think this is most prevalent with therapists, right? Because if a therapist makes you happy, right, then you no longer need therapy, right? So why would the therapist help you so that you no longer give them money, right? Because therapists are expensive. Like, dude, like an hour of their time is like $200, right? So if they're making $200 an hour, right, consistently on a weekly basis in this time slot, why would they want to help you solve your problem faster if it means they stop getting a consistent $200 per hour per week, right? Um, and this goes for doctors, right? Why would like let's say you need braces, right, or something, or let's say you have cancer, right? Why would a doctor quickly cure cancer when they can continually give you treatment, right? So if the cure to cancer did exist, right? If let's say I was a scientist and I found the cure to cancer, I wouldn't tell anybody, right? Because or let's say actually no, I would because I would be famous, right? And I would make a lot of money. But let's say like a let's say NYU, right? NYU is a very big hospital, right? Let's say NYU found the cure to cancer, right? Why would they tell? Why would they disclose that cure to cancer if it means every single hospital in the world now can't farm people for chemotherapy money, right? Let's say I was a lawyer, right? If I was a lawyer, why would I win your case, right? If it means that you no longer need me, right? I would rather lose your case, right? So you want to go back to me for a retrial, right? But I think lawyers, so I think the problem with lawyers purposely losing cases is that if you lose too many cases, then you're a bad lawyer. And if you're a bad lawyer, then um, then people won't go to you anymore, right? So, because for a lawyer, there's either a win or a loss, right? And if you're a therapist and you don't help anybody and you just go in circles. Let's say I'm going to you for therapy for a year or two, right? And I literally have seen no difference. Why would I keep going to you, right? And if I was a cancer patient, and I went to this hospital, and my cancer didn't get any better, it just stagnated. It's not like terminal cancer, right? It's like, but I've been in chemotherapy or whatever for like a year, and it hasn't gotten any better. I would just go to a different hospital, right? But I think for cancer and for therapy, you can slowly get better, right? Let's say I'm in therapy, right? Because you can't really quantify how well therapy is working, right? So let's say I was a therapist, right? Um, if I was a therapist, I would help you get better, but very very slowly. Okay, let's say you can get fat. Let's say I realize that you could get better in 10 months, right? Why would I not stretch 10 months to 10 years, right? Or maybe 10 decades, right? Or a lifetime, right? Um, like obviously that's extreme, that's hyperbole, but you get the point, right? If I if I knew you'd be in therapy for 5 months or 5 years, fuck you, right? Why would I help you get better faster when I can farm you out for $200 an hour for 5 years, right? That's amazing, right? That's an incredible amount of money, right? So that also brings the question, like, how can you trust like so I got this idea started from this is what I call the therapist paradox, right? This is like something I thought of. This probably exists somewhere, but it's a question I guess in philosophy, right? Like, why? Because there's a monetary benefit to be gained. Why would someone? Why would someone help? Why would someone choose helping you over like their own well-being, right? It 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 con this I guess this therapist paradox, it contradicts like we expect all professionals to have your best interest in mind, but at the end of the day, no one has your best interest in mind, right? If you gave a if I forced your therapist, if I gave your therapist a gun and I said I shoot you or you shoot your patient, who the fuck do you think they're shooting? they're shooting the fucking patient, okay? And it's at the same thing at the end of the day, right? If they fuck you over and make you miserable for an extra 9 years, but they get $200, they have a livelihood, right? A guaranteed steady flow of income for 10 years. Why would they not choose 10 years of $200 an hour, which is an incredible rate, by the way? Fucking hell, like, that's like 5 times what motherfuckers make on Wall Street, right? Um, over helping you, right? Who the fuck are you to them, right? I think that's what I think about professional therapists, right? And this idea of monetary benefit and being a good person, right? Because that's what that is, right? If the therapist is truly a good person, right, the the objectively utilitarian thing to do would be to help you, because I'm sure that suffering is worth is is preventing that suffering is more important than $200 an hour, right? But $200 an hour is an incredible amount of fucking money. Okay, an hour, $200 for an hour of your time. Okay, dude, I spend 15 fucking minutes a day making these YouTube videos. Okay, for 4 YouTube videos, if I could make $200 fucking hour, I'd fucking grind YouTube videos like nobody's business, right? It's insane, right? Like think about it, four of my YouTube videos, right, and $200 an hour, like absurd. That's absurd, right? And um, and like also this goes for, um, like churches and stuff, right? Like let's say, like I don't know, let's say this church really could solve all of your problems, right? Why would the church want to solve all of your problems when you're continually donating to it, right? Um, right. So, like so this idea stems from a video I watched by Dan Toomey about AI chatbots, right? And I had the idea. I was like, wait, an AI, because he talked about AI chatbots having a monetary benefit, right? Because they could sell your information to advertisers, right? But I was thinking, don't humans have an even greater benefit or an even greater opportunity to benefit, right? Because the chatbot doesn't have to worry. The chatbot doesn't have to worry about it $200 an hour, but their therapist definitely likes that $200 an hour that you give him, okay? Or insurance gives him or whatever, right? But but regardless, at the end of the day, like think about it. In your therapist's mind, right? He's still helping you, but he's just making that helping longer, right? And they'll say anything to justify that. It's like, oh, it's healthier to take longer to heal or whatever the fuck, right? Um, but at the end of the day, like at the end of the therapy session, the insurance company gives you therapist $200. Okay, so I'm just saying, right? But like I think AI would be a better therapist than a person, right? Because AI doesn't have this this monetary incentive, right? Um, like AI doesn't, and AI has no incentive to prolong your getting better, right? But a therapist does. Okay, a therapist has 9 years of $200 an hour to look forward to. Okay, your AI chatbot has nothing. So I think people are turning to AI therapists because AI therapists are genuinely better than real therapists, right? Because you can get better in 5 months, but therapists make you get better in 5 years. And they can give you a plethora of bullshit reasons, but I think at the end of the day, they're making $200 an hour. Okay, let's fact check that. Um, how much do therapists charge? Yeah, but bro, $250 a fucking hour? How much do investment bankers make on average? Uh, the irony is I'm using fucking chat Google AI review for this. Um, you're working about you're working like probably like a 9 to 6 realistically, which is 9 hours a day. Divided by 9. So you're working. So wait, okay, you're working probably with your breaks working 330 days a year. Divide that by. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Cause you get weekends off, right? Wait, I'm stupid. 5/7 times 365. About 260 days. You're probably working 240 of those days because you have about 20 vacation days, sick days, and stuff. Um, wait, why am I? Wait, what is this? Whoa, $493 a day. I recognize that. Bro, fucking Wall Street bankers make $54 an hour. Your fucking therapist makes 5 times that. Okay, or at the least, right? At the least, your therapist makes $65 a fucking hour. Bro, they make more than a fucking Wall Street banker. Okay, so why would a fucking therapist, bro? The only reason why people get into finance is for the fucking money. Okay, so why would a fucking therapist want to help you if it means they don't fucking make Wall Street fucking salaries, right? Dude, this fucking therapist probably live in a fucking penthouse, right? So let's think about this, right? So ChatGPT has no incentive to prolong my my therapy, right? Okay, they're also available at any time. They don't judge, right? Or at least I don't think therapists judge, but at least you like logically people like obviously people realize that therapists don't judge, but I mean humans are logical, right? There's no there's no way people are confident that they don't judge. Okay, they're available 24/7. Okay, they're free. Okay, your the AI has no incentive to fuck up your like to prolong your therapy, right? They say exactly what you want to say, which is obviously like dangerous, or they say what you want to hear, but that's obviously dangerous. But I mean, people are stupid, right? Like obviously we all realize it's probably stupid to stay in a fucking echo chamber, but like look, fucking Reddit right over here, right? But that's what I'm saying, right? Like there there are so many benefits to AI therapy. Can you blame people for going to an AI therapist? And while you might say AI therapy is dangerous, right? I think the the defining factor here, right, is the fact that therapists have a monetary incentive to prolong your treatment, right? That is the therapist paradox. Why would somebody help you if it means they make more money, right? Um, yeah. Um, so what I think is that therapists should be hired by the government and they make an hourly salary instead of what we currently have. Um, because I think 200 dollars an hour is outrageous. Okay, and I think no one in their right mind would choose helping a fucking at the end of the day a stranger that they don't know over making 200 fucking dollars an hour. Okay, okay. For doctors and lawyers, doc technically lawyers have a reputation they need to maintain, right? So they wouldn't throw cases, right? But it's about tactically throwing. Like let's say in a thousand cases, there's one case that you know will go to that they will rehire you for a retrial, right? Why would you not throw that case, right? It's one case in a thousand. Okay, let's say you have a nine. Like, I don't know what a prosecutor, like what a good record is, but let's say you, like, what's one case in a thousand, right? And doctors, right? Like, okay, I'm speaking from first-hand experience, right? I go to an orthodontist, right? I've had braces for 9 years, right? Why would but like at the end of the day I don't blame him, right? I'm some random fucking kid that he doesn't know, right? But he's farming an insurance company for 9 fucking years, right? Like if I was him, I'd farm the shit out of me too, right? So I think he's a shit fucking person, but I don't fucking blame him, right? Because I would do the same fucking thing. If he was in that chair, I'd farm the shit out of him too, right? I'd farm the shit out of you. I should farm the shit out of him, right? Fucking bro, the amount these fucking orthodontists make from these insurance companies, it's outrageous, right? I would farm the ever living shit out of my favorite fucking person in the world if it meant I fucking make the amount of money he makes, right? And I don't care how fucking miserable it makes them, right? I'm, I'm, I don't know them, right? At the end of the day, like you are just another patient to this therapist. You are another patient to this orthodontist, right? Um, yeah. You know what? Let's ask AI. Let's ChatGPT this. Um, why would a they have a rainbow thing now? Therapist help you um get better faster if it means they lose a paying client. Can't spell. Okay, so really the first answer is that the professional ethics, right? Ethics are just that, ethics, right? But money, bro, motherfucking Wall Street is possibly the most unethical place on fucking earth, right? But people, I want to fucking work there. You know why? Because they make $100,000 fucking dollars, right? Um, Reputation matters. Okay, so here, let's say I was a therapist, right? If I knew I could get you better in 6 months, why would I not stretch that to a year? Because you don't know how long it should take, right? A year to you might be amazing, but 6 months, that's even more amazing. But for me, it means 6 less months of $200 an hour, right? I don't agree with the third one because it doesn't matter. What is the difference between you and someone else? You're still paying $200 an hour, right? I would argue that keeping you there is actually better because it's a guaranteed source of income, right? You already know how long they're gonna stay for, right? Also, especially because people have sunk cost fallacy, right? If you go to therapy once or twice, you're not gonna want to keep going. Like you might like just stop going, right? But someone texted me. But if you go to therapies for 6 months, then you're stuck there, right? Job satisfaction. So four. Many therapists enter the field because they genuinely want to help people heal. Well, guess what? I might genuinely want to help people, right? I want to make this world a better place. But dude, Wall Street money, 100,000 fucking dollars a year, like, and therapy is not trying to be positive stress. So four, right? Sure, five, right? You don't like the person that's taking the therapy doesn't know, right? That they're getting fucked over, right? To them, you're saving their life, but you're still fucking them over out of that much money, right? Let's hashtag videos. So basically, it literally just all comes down to ethics, right? So what do you trust more? Okay, what do you have more faith in? A person upholding a code of ethics, okay, or a person choosing $250 a fucking hour? Fuck, dude. I think any fucking person in the world chooses $250 an hour, right? And that's the therapist paradox, right? And that's why I don't think AI therapy is a bad idea, right? Because AI therapists don't have $250 an hour to entice them, right? But yeah, that's basically it. Does it stem from some personal grievance? Because my orthodontist is a bitch, probably. It's a dude, by the way. Like that's not like a misogynistic thing. It's a dude. I'm not using bitch in like a misogynistic way. Um, right. But like I don't know, man. I'm just saying it's something to think about, right? Like the fact of the matter is that $250 an hour, is enough to make anybody an unethical person, right? And I think that that's the therapist paradox, and that's a paradox of of humans, right? But yeah, that's today's video. Subscribe and good night, guys.